Hey everybody, it's T from the BackStagePass team, and today we're going to be talking about the newest feature in Multimuse called Storyline. Storyline is a replacement to the old Archives feature, which basically just took every scene you ever tracked and put it in a nice little embed, and you could organize it and rename stuff. And I was never really happy with that. It was kind of a slap-together solution. So we've reworked it entirely after making connections and kind of had some cool ideas for the web interface. Just like before, anything you track can end up in your storylines. Um, but storylines are a little bit more in depth than archives ever were. So we're gonna look at these real quick, and I can show you exactly how it works. So I'm gonna go to Solara, who has her most built out timeline right now. When you first join the page, you'll have a nice little guide and it'll walk you through things. It'll tell you, choose whose story you're building, add scenes, notes, and milestones. You can choose between graph, feed, timeline, all of that jazz, and then you can either work on everything or work on specific arcs within your character. And then we have a very built out section right here, but we're going to go over this one at a time. So first, you have your add/edit event section here. You can pick your kind, whether it's a scene, a backstory, milestone, other. You can name it. You can put a location, a scene date. This can pull from Stagehand. If you're in a server with Stagehand who's using the calendar system from Stagehand, it can auto pull those dates, which is really cool. You can put the link here, and then you could type a blah 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 about whatever this event happens to be. And then we have another thing called story arcs. But most importantly, you can tag other muses. So I can tag Aerith and tag Aphrodite in this, and then it shows up on my timeline with those two tagged in it. Story arcs are sections of your character's timeline, your character's story. You have the hero's rising, the climax, the hero's fall, that sort of stuff. So I have before roleplay, and then the current arc that Solara is going through, which I've called Sunrise on the Bayou. You can add those pretty easily from over here. Right here. Sorry, I got a little lost. You can just call it, after the setting sun. And after Solara is turned vampire. And then you can set an arc color. And then I can add that arc. And then when you're adding an arc, you can either choose to include this in the full storyline, or notably, if you have characters who are used in a lot of places at once, or if you use the same muse for the same for different role plays, you can uncheck this to include in full storyline, and then every arc has a deep link. And a deep link means that I can link directly to this storyline, right? So I can link directly to this storyline. And that's how you can kind of divvy it up between muses. But if you have it include in full storyline, let me just go back over here to the public storyline. They all show up together. So I have the Sunrise on the Bayou, I have before roleplay. They're all in the same timeline, but I can also sort before the roleplay, Sunrise on the Bayou here. It's just excluding it from the full storyline keeps it out of this full view if this is the one that you prefer to use for your main lookup, and then you can just deep link to other things. And I guess this is how you see the public page as well. You can sort from oldest to newest to oldest. There's a few filters like what muses have you worked with. Let's exclude types. I don't know what people are going to use this for, but I do just want to give viewers an option. And then there's also the graph view, which does take a little bit to load sometimes. Here we go. And just nice big Solara nose there. Just like with connections, I thought maybe people would want to see this in a more linear fashion. So it's okay, do, and you can customize all this in the editor as well. And then you can jump straight to her connections from here. So editing's pretty easy. Once you have events on your timeline, you can toggle between the different ones here. You can always right-click, edit event, and that will bring this up, and then you can set up all of the stuff. And just like with connections, other can be a saved custom type. So I have, text convo. It's a match for Solara for the texting or the dating app that's in our world. So I have those pre-saved. We carried that over from connections because it was a really good idea. And then you can always add images to each event too. As you can see here, there are little things here in the background, or with the graph. And with the graph, you can come zoom in, you can look at all the different events, you can select different events. So they're really easy to, edit in place, just like connections. I wanted to have all of the different ways that people like to do things here and just laid out. And as you can see, it's pulling in the date from stagehand here too. So it's all automatic. Let me just go back up to the top here. This is a little bugged right now, so don't ignore that. That's not supposed to expand that far. So let's go over here. You can change your default event styles and the colors here, just like in connections. Your workspace, you can set up the defaults of, default editor view. And then which do you want preferred first, oldest first, or newest first inside of any of your, I think that's public link and in the editor. Reset layout. I didn't mean to reset the layout that hard, but, whatever. Yeah, resetting layout, flattens it out, your verticality, and then double click, just like in connections, if you want to make things, or you can just click that, just to show you how that works. And then appearance, you can add a banner, which goes at the top here. You can choose the accent color, which by default is this line right here, all the little glows and stuff. And if you're not setting custom colors, that gets applied too. And this also applies to the Discord posting. And then you can put an intro. By default, it goes to whatever the quote is in your Muse card. So Solara's is "I cannot whisper. I have tried." But if I change this to a test quote, blurb thing, save display, go over here, we refresh. And it changes it right there. It's just like a little quippy one-liner. That is global. That is not per arc, just so you know. And then there's the posting to Discord. And then there's the posting to Discord part of all of this. Just like with archives, this can post to Discord. You can choose to auto-sync it to Discord so it stays up to date, or you can just post it and refresh it whenever you want. You can manually set the channel link here, or you can go into Discord and post it from there. They're really simple. It's just a fun little interface for building out your timelines and stuff. Really not that too much more intense than archives. I think this is just a better UX for doing it, which is why we've rebranded it and relaunched it. Let me show you the Discord side of this. Okay, and then once you're over to the Discord side of things, it's as simple as a storyline post. You select what muse you're going to do, and since we've been working on Solara, I'll select her. If you want to pick a specific arc to post here, you can. It will autofill from here. You can pick that arc. It will post as that, but I'm going to post the full timeline. I'll show you that in a second. And you can pick a specific destination if you're trying to post it somewhere other than the channel that you are doing the command in. So I will do this, and it will take a second. I'll think about it. It'll build the container, and then it posts it, and then it looks like all of the things that we've talked about. It's got the backstory, it's got the scenes, all of the accessory images show up, and then it auto-paginates dynamically based on how many components you're using, so you don't even have to think about that. And then just to show you storyline post Solara, boop, do an arc. And then we'll do sunrise on the bayou. Posts it again. And it does it with the specific arc color too. So you can designate them that way if you wanted to post all of the different arcs separately or whatever. And then one of the most important things is you can just click open storyline. And just like with connections, it will open it in the activity window right here. And just like with connections, it is available on your card as well once you enable it. So just click it and it loads up your storyline right away. Look at that. Boom. That is storylines. Thank you everybody for checking it out. I hope this is way more useful than archives ever were. I know they were kind of a tacked on feature for a very long time. Archives will be deprecated. They are already removed from the dashboard. The commands are still in place for now, but I do suggest that if you are using archives, you switch over to storylines, and your archive should automatically transfer over to storylines, so it's a pretty seamless migration. Thank you everybody for watching this update video, and if you have any questions, please drop into the support server, show off your storylines in the support server in that multi-muse chat, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.